everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life. Today I want to talk Peloton Bike Plus first impressions. I have had the bike now officially for 2 weeks as of today, so I'm really excited to talk about it more. I'm still in that buyer's high from getting the bike. I still love it. I love getting on it pretty much every day I've gotten on it, at least for a little while. Even if it's a rest day, I just ride the scenic rides and just take it a little bit slow. But I have just absolutely loved it. I have a lot of notes to cover in this video. So the first thing I want to talk about is connectability. I do have an Apple Watch, so I can connect to the actual bike rides, just the cycling, and it's really interesting. I didn't realize I'd have to connect every single class. I thought it would just automatically do something and not be a big deal, but it's actually annoying and you have to connect every single class. So when you're connecting to an actual cycling class, you pick out the class, you hit start, it'll pop up with a screen, and then there's a message up at the top that says something about hold your watch close. You'll hold it close, you'll make some sort of beeping noise, you'll feel the vibration, and then when you look down, you can hit OK on your watch, and you have to do that, and then you can start the class. So then it will be connected to your watch. You'll see stats on your watch, and it's nice like that. So if you do a warm-up ride, you have to connect it. If you do your next ride, whatever ride you're doing for the day, you have to connect it again, like put your arm up, hit OK on your watch, connect it again. If you do a second ride, like let's say you want to keep going, you have to do another ride, you're connecting it again. And if you want to do a cool down ride, again, you're connecting it. So it is annoying if you're doing more than just one thing. It gets really annoying. So I already wasn't loving that part of it, but going along with that, if you're doing anything else on the bike, like with the screen, it doesn't give you the heart rate monitor from your watch. So you have to have a third party or external heart rate monitor. And so I ended up with a Rhythm Plus 2.0. So I definitely wanted to use my screen. You know, I paid for this machine. I wanted the swivel screen. That's one of the reasons why I got the Bike Plus. And so I swivel the screen, connect my heart rate monitor, and I can do all of my other exercise right in this room now. So this is the workout room for me. I have the bike just right off screen, and then I have a big space in the middle of the room that I can do like the strength training, the yoga, all in the floor, and I can just swivel the screen, and it's really, really nice. So yeah, I have to use this for bike boot camps and also for the other workouts. And some of the time I start with like a 10-minute yoga or something. I'll put the strap on and I will just leave it on for my rides as well, because I don't have to keep connecting it back and forth. You have to, if you're using the watch, you have to keep holding it up and hitting OK, where if you're just connected with this, it automatically keeps you connected the whole time. The one downside with that is it does not get sent to my Apple Fitness or my watch until I go into the app physically on my phone. So I have to go into the Peloton app. It'll sync all with my Apple Health stuff. So that's the only downside of having the Rhythm Plus, but I would rather do that than it estimate stuff on the bike. I did a little test for you guys because I wanted a more well, it's anecdotal, my most scientific option for this. So I did end up doing a yoga. I had it running on my phone, synced to my watch using the heart rate monitor, and I also had it just up on the screen. So it was going on two different things, two separate classes, but it was the same exact class, started really closely together. I tried to start them as closely together as possible. And for the yoga, it was only off by a couple of calories, but then I also did the same exact thing with a strength training class. And for strength training, I get hot, I get sweaty, and I thought that the calories would not be the same. And sure enough, the calories were way off. It was like 70 or 80 calories off from the one that's actually synced with my heart rate versus the one on the screen that's just kind of estimating my calories. So I definitely recommend, if you're trying to calorie count or trying to keep track of your activity, get yourself a heart rate monitor. If you're going to do the workouts from the bike that aren't just cycling, definitely invest in a heart rate monitor. I ended up paying around 70 bucks for this with a coupon, so it wasn't too bad, but it was one of the more pricey accessories that I have purchased. So I definitely recommend it. I haven't had very many problems with it at all. It just wasn't tracking very well and I needed to charge it. So that's basically user error. But other than that, it's worked really well. But yeah, I found that that is something that I really just needed with the bike. If I was going to get my full value out of the bike and use the screen to my full advantage, I definitely needed the heart rate monitor. So now that I've said definitely 5 billion times, we can move on to the next thing. So at first, when I'm tilting the screen, it is pretty tight and I feel like I'm being pretty hard with it, trying to tilt it, but it started to get a little bit smoother to actually tilt it. And when I was tilting the screen, when you're riding the bike, you have it at a little bit of a tilt because you're kind of up over the screen a little bit when you're riding. But when you're down in the floor, you want it to be perpendicular with the floor, or even slightly tilted a little bit. If you're doing yoga and you're on the floor a lot, you want it to slightly tilt. And I was finding I could not get it past like, perpendicular straight up and down. So that made the floor exercises a little bit tricky. But since it's like loosened up just a little bit, it's not quite as stiff, I'm noticing I can like tilt it slightly downward, and that makes it a little bit easier to do the yoga and some of the core workouts. You're also in the floor a lot. So it comes in handy to be able to tilt it down just slightly. And that's something that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do. I thought I was only going to be able to make it perpendicular, but I can get a tiny bit of tilt downward. As far as first impressions with the clipping in and out, I had like the best white glove service from the Peloton delivery. It was actually from a Peloton store delivery. They actually showed me how to clip in and out. They were here watching me do it, and I felt pretty confident with it, but I also have mostly just kept my shoes clipped in because it's kind of loud and I'm working out when everybody else is asleep usually. So I don't clip in and out. I just leave my shoes on the bike, which I'll show you. That's how it stays with my shoes already clipped in, and I really like it like that because I don't have to worry about clipping in and out. It does sound like you're gonna break the bike because it is a really loud sound, but I found that it wasn't as hard as I thought it was gonna be. I've heard other people like in the Facebook groups complain that it's really, really hard to clip in and out, but I just clip them in, leave them there, don't mess with them. And Johnny has used the bike and he can fit in my shoes. So he just has used my shoes the one time he got on the bike. Something people also talk about is how sore your butt gets. And I have heard a lot of various things about this. Some people say up to 2 weeks. Some people say your first couple of rides, up to like your first week. I think it really just depends on the person. I've heard you can get gel padded shorts and also a gel padded seat for your bike. So you can get options to help the pain down there. But I found that I just lived with it. The first day I did 2 workouts because I was really excited about the bike. So I did 2 different things. And by the end of the second thing, my butt was on fire, just super duper sore. I was sore into the next day and took it easy the next day. I think I got on for like a scenic ride the next day. And then by like the 4th or 5th day, totally fine. No issues whatsoever. But I find that if I'm on the bike back to back doing more than, I don't know, like 30 minutes, I will get a sore butt again. But again, I'm only 2 weeks into it. I'm still new at this. So I did a 30-minute bike boot camp this morning, plus a 30-minute beginner. It was called advanced beginner. And by the end of that, my butt was sore again. So it's something that I think you get used to over time. I'm definitely like, my butt's not as sore now as it was like day one. Day one, I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to get on the bike on day 2. And I had Olivia bring me a pillow midway through my second day on the bike because my butt was so sore, so I sat on a pillow on my seat. It didn't help all that much. It's something you just have to get used to. So if you think gel bike shorts or a gel padded seat will help, maybe get that. But also know that you probably will just have to kind of get used to it also. So I just, I didn't buy any extra things. I just got used to it for the most part. But again, if I'm on there a long time, it really will hurt my butt again. Yeah, my note in here says, I realized after my 3rd day, when I used the screen for the other kind of workouts, that was the day I started trying to do yoga and stuff on the screen. I realized that day I had to have that heart rate monitor because I just knew I needed it. The one thing that I found that's kind of annoying, it's not a deal breaker by any means, but it is definitely a con. When you're starting the classes on the bike for cycling, for some reason it cuts off the first couple seconds of the class, and I don't know why that is, but they will like say hi and introduce themselves, and it's like cutting off a little bit of that beginning part. When you're on the app, you start the class and then they're like, hey, how's it going kind of thing in the beginning. And so you don't miss that first initial couple seconds piece. But on the bike, it cuts it off, which is really weird. You feel like you're like starting midway. And it's funny because I have taken a few live classes, and that's kind of how you jump into live sometimes. So each time I hit start, I was like, whoa, is this a live class? I feel like that's just kind of a bug that's going on. I hope that they will fix that over time. But again, totally not a deal breaker. I'd much rather use that screen than use my phone screen to do my workouts. As far as using the digital app versus the actual Peloton bike, it's really, really intuitive because I've used the digital app a lot, but there's a lot more offerings and bells and whistles actually on the bike screen. You get a cycling challenge, which I didn't get in just the digital app. It's for the people using the bike. So that's really awesome that I can track my bike mileage and keep track on the bike and get little badges for that. So I love the badges. I feel like that's a really motivating factor. And also one of the other main differences It's a total perk, I feel like. On the digital app, it will show you your 30-day calendar, but I have not found a way to click in and see more than just your past 30 days, which I feel like is annoying because I've been doing this now. This is my 20-week streak now. So I've been doing this now for 20 weeks and I can't go back and see like any days that I've missed. I can't go see more circles, but on the bike you can. I didn't realize that until I was just kind of looking around on the screen one day, and you can like scroll up and see months previous. So I could go all the way back up to the beginning day that I started and see all of the weeks, which is really awesome. I feel like on here you're really missing out because you only see the last 5 weeks on the phone app, but on the screen you get to see a whole lot more. And on here, under your profile, there's only 3 sections: overview, workouts, and achievements. And on the screen, there's a ton of different metrics and information that you can see. It's really intuitive, but it gives you so much more information on the screen than you get on the digital app. So that's definitely one of the huge perks to having the bike. You get a lot of more data if you're like numbers driven or you care about that kind of thing. It's really fun to have the bike. Also, I love the little stars for your personal records for output. I really have enjoyed that so far. They just look like a little star. I don't think you guys can really see. I'll throw stuff on the screen, of course, but I really enjoy that part. I really enjoy how they have it listed when you first log in on the bike. You just click your profile and it'll open up and it'll show you your streak and show you the days of the week. You get little completed circles for every day that you're actually on the bike or actually working out in general, just if you have a Peloton workout done. And I really like that. I love that it tracks that. I love it gives me something to cheer about. Up at the top it says, you know, a few more days till your 20-week streak kind of thing on there. That aspect of it is just really highly motivating to me. I love the blue circles, the check marks, all of this numbers and planary type stuff. I really love all that stuff. So I'm doing the beginner basics. It's mastering the basics of cycling. So it's a 6-week thing. I just started my 3rd week today and it's kind of like babying me through learning all of the stuff. I'm getting to take different instructors classes. I haven't really narrowed down like super favorites yet, but I'm trying to dabble with everybody. So that'll be, you know, more future videos talking about my favorite instructors or talking about differences in instructors and maybe rank them at some point. But that's something just totally new for me right now, is just getting to know each instructor's style and trying them out. So the Mastering the Basics is usually 4 classes a week so far, and I'm riding most days, so I will do some scenic routes in between. I also have tried out a few live classes, which were really fun, and I've also done one bike boot camp I did this morning. That was my first one, and I really liked that too. It was working out on the bike and then some core in the floor, and it was a live, it may have been an encore, but it was, you know, on the live schedule, and it was really fun too. So I definitely will be doing more bike boot camps. I'll be trying all the instructors. I'm going to work on this Mastering the Basics for the next few weeks to finish that up. I will for sure have lots more Peloton videos for you guys, but I just wanted to walk through like my first initial impressions of the bike. I have loved it. I feel like it's really intuitive how the screen works, how you navigate on the screen. The resistance knob, I really like the auto resistance on the Bike Plus. I have taken live classes, so it doesn't have auto resistance, and I've also had to lower my resistance past their scale, and also on one of my classes I've had to raise the resistance past their top recommended resistance. So it's something that I have had to play around with just a little bit, but for the most part I stick in with whatever resistance they have, and I like that a whole lot better. I like not having to crank the knob all that much. I find that would be more annoying and make it less enjoyable for me to have to always be cranking the resistance, because they change resistances a lot in the classes. So I would highly recommend the Bike Plus over the regular bike if you don't want to have to crank the resistance all that much. You still have to if you're taking live classes. And then the other big advantage for the Bike Plus is the swiveling screen. I know there are workarounds, I know there are things you can buy to make your screen swivel, but I like that it's automatically a swivel. I don't have to worry about a third-party accessory or, you know, taking anything apart. I know you can take it apart, it's not that big a deal, but for me, I don't want to mess with it. I just want it to work. So for me, it was totally worth it for just those 2 benefits alone to get the Bike Plus versus just the regular bike. So yeah, take with that what you will. I hope you got some value out of this video if you're thinking about the bikes. I do have a referral coupon down below. If you want to order one of the bikes, it'll give you $100 off whatever accessories you order when you order the bike. So I ended up getting some dumbbells and resistance bands when I used somebody else's coupon. So you can feel free to use my coupon down below. It'll be in the description box. And that's it for today. So be sure to like, subscribe so you can follow me along. I'll have some more Peloton videos coming up for you guys. And that's it for today. So have a great day and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.